Hi there. This is my next video in my answering questions series, and this question comes to you today from YouTube user known as Chris's Misses. And I visited her channel, and she's into paganism, and she has some very interesting views. And I subscribe to her. You can find her link on the side of the video there. But she asked me a very interesting question about angels. And this was her question. I wonder what your viewpoint on angels is. To some, mainly Christians, angels are benign beings. But from my viewpoint, which is pagan, angels can be both bad and good. What is your view on this? Have you had any encounters with angels? And are angels a part of the Satanist faith? Actually, this is a very good topic. It's something that I really don't get to talk about. And I think a good place to start is with a definition of the word angel. And the word angel is originally Greek, and it means a messenger. Also, I think that no matter what you believe in or practice, there are really only two ways to understand what angels are. First, there is the religious view that angels are the messengers of their God and that they work on behalf of God's power. And the second is from a magical viewpoint, that angels are one of many celestial beings that are intelligences or spirits. They are used in ceremonial magic for the purpose of enabling the magician. Instructions for summoning them can be found in grimoires. They represent the planetary hours, and each of them have a spirit or a sphere of influence. Another example from ceremonial magic is the LBRP ritual of the Golden Dawn that uses a Kabbalistic method of invoking the four archangels. She also asked me this question. To some, mainly Christians, angels are benign beings, but from my viewpoint, pagan angels can be both bad and good. What are your views on this? Well, I do not think that angels are viewed as being completely benign, regardless if they are being used for magic or by the religious. For example, the Jewish angel of death is not so benign. Azrael or Samael represented the mortal nature of life. There is also the mythology of the archangel Michael, who is often portrayed in Christian art with a sword. You could say that he acted as a destructive or oppositional force for God on several different accounts. Most notably, he argued with Satan over the body of Moses in the Old Testament, and Michael was responsible for the fall of Satan from heaven in Christian mythology. Their main use in the biblical mythos was to give messages and to execute judgment for their God. Something that is benign would not bring death or harm, so I do not think that this statement is entirely true. And really, when it comes down to it, I also do not think that they are bad or good. When angels are used for a magic purpose, they are neither good nor bad. They only provide the needed influence for the magician. It is similar to using planetary or astrological influences. This type of magic might use a religious reference, but it is not a religious practice. Another example of this neutral aspect of angels is from the LBRP, which invokes the four angels. These angels represent an elemental and spiritual nature. I think that angels are like some demons in that they are not good or evil. They just do what they do. They have a sphere of influence that can be useful if they are called upon in a magic working. On to the next part of the question, where she asked me, have you had any encounters with angels? And my answer to this is no. I do not seek to work with angelic magic, so I haven't really had many encounters with angels. I did draw a wonderful picture of Michael a few years ago, though, and I had a fun time when I was into the practice of the LBRP by visualizing the angels and their corresponding elements. And finally, she asked me, are angels a part of the Satanist faith? Well, I hear that the Enochian keys are pretty popular for Satanists for reasons unknown. They were put into the Satanic Bible by LaVey. What's really funny is that LaVey wrote that the Enochian language was older than Sanskrit, when it is well known in the occult world that Enochian was a created language by D. and Kelly in the late 1500s. LaVey copied these keys into the Satanic Bible and then rewrote them in English, giving them a satanic spin. The original Enochian verses are used in rituals of the Golden Dawn, and they have nothing to do with Satan. So I find that LaVey's satanic keys are pretty much worthless. Enochian magic would be way more interesting, but I'm related to Satanism as a practice. Some Satanists keep their religious beliefs when they convert from Christianity. An example of this are the Satanists who worship Satan or Lucifer as a fallen angel. I really don't know how useful that is, because in reality they are only using the same mythology as Christians. It's the same thing with the Nephilim and the Watchers in the Book of Enoch and Azazel. They were known as fallen gods. I have found that Satan, demons, and other gods were labeled as fallen because they represented elements of other religions that competed with Judaism and Christianity, and thus they were degraded in Jewish and Christian literature. I personally do not believe or recognize Satan as a fallen angel. To me, Satan is Lord of the earth and was never fallen to begin with.